Yeah. Welcome to Gopai's Expat channel. Everything expat.
The president just inaugurated the public road heading to Playa Bergantine. Where is that? Well, if you know where Montejano is, you know where that new public road going to Playa Bergantine is. Give you an example. Playa Bergantine goes from Montejano almost to Playa Dorado. It is an awesome beach. I love going there. I throw my 2 dogs in the car. We drive down there. We spend a day on the beach, and we don't see anybody. It's a lot of fun, but it's untouched. The plan is that Hyatt is going to be the first hotel chain to build a resort there. The plan is to have 4,000 hotel rooms, 1,500 residential units. I'm not sure if it's gated community or condo. Probably both. They're also building an academic center there. I don't know what kind of center it's going to be. The news article that I read wasn't too specific, but I know for a fact that the public road is paved and done. I don't know how far back it goes, but hopefully it goes all the way to the beach. I actually was coming back from I was heading to Puerto Plata, and I saw the presidential motorcade. And a little tip: when you see 2 police cars in front, and the government here, they use black Tahoes, and they got red and blue flashing lights in the grill. There's 4 of them, and they alternate. And then more cop cars in an ambulance. You always know it's a high-ranking government official. So I saw him a couple days ago when I was going to Puerto Plata, and I noticed the road was paved with a sign that says Playa Bergantine. This is awesome. This is really what the North Coast needs. The North Coast needs the government to make us a priority again. So everybody, if you watch my channel, you know I talk about how things were and how it relates to how things are now and how is that going to affect things for the future. So let's do this again. At one time, Playa Dorado was the Punta Cana of the Dominican Republic. That's pretty much where the tourism sector started in the Dominican Republic. It's right here on the North Coast was Playa Dorado. And then a group of investors basically were looking for a place to develop. They saw a little fishing village called Punta Cana with the backing of the government. They developed Punta Cana, and that's where all the money went to for decades, all that money. Well, now they realize they got to bring that money back up to the North Coast, and there's 2 big reasons why, and that's what I want to talk about. The first thing is all this sargassum, the grass, that's just taken over the Caribbean. It's not indigenous. When it washes ashore, it stinks to high heaven. It's just horrible smelling. But where did it come from? Like, it came out of nowhere, because it pretty much did. When they were burning the rainforest in Brazil a couple of years back, in that smoke, all the pollination from the vegetation went up in the atmosphere. It hit the clouds, fell down to the ocean, and germinated in the ocean. So it's not indigenous. There's nothing needs it. So it's basically taken over like wildfire, and it's moving north, and it's exploding in the Caribbean. And pretty much every Caribbean island is going to be faced with this problem. And I even read that they're expecting to hit the Gulf of Mexico eventually and decimate Florida and the panhandle of Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi as well, because it likes the warm water. The other thing is hurricanes. They're very concerned about a Category 3 to Category 5 hurricane hitting the southern end of the island and doing a lot of damage to Punta Cana. That's a real big revenue generator for the country. So now they want to offset those risks with developing the North Coast again. And we have a president that's extremely North Coast, very, very pro North Coast. Thank God. I absolutely love it. I love the North Coast. I love how you have so many different activities. So for that to happen, for the government to say, you know what, we have a reason where we need to. So for the government to say, you know what, we have to hedge our bets. We need to have another strong revenue income stream, and we're perfect for it on the North Coast. The other thing that's not a coincidence is the open sky agreement that was signed a couple weeks ago. If we can get more direct flights from different American cities other than Miami, New York, Newark, if we can get, bring back the direct Philly flights. What about Houston? What about Atlanta? What LA? If we start getting those flights in, that will really change the whole dynamics of the North Coast. So let's see how that works out. But let's talk about how will this affect sosua. Well, here's my opinion. Sosua is going to have to change. There's just too much money being put into the North Coast for it not to affect sosua. Anybody who spends any time down here, you can see how sosua has changed with all the development. Hispaniola has pretty much doubled in size. Casa Linda, it's just growing by leaps and bounds. Sosua Ocean Village, tons of small condo complexes. You look at Encuentro has been built up. Now they're building up Hideaway Beach. I have a good friend who I've known for over 15 years. And about every 4 years, I say, "Yo, Rich, can you make some time for me?" So about a month ago was the 4-year mark. So, boom, I go to his office and I ask him the same thing every time. Do I take my chips off the table, take my profit, and go? And he said, "John, do not even think about doing that. The North Coast is set to take off." I know I come out here and I give you my opinions. I give you how I've seen things move before, where I think they're going to. But before I do that, I have people that I can actually talk to who actually are very more successful than me down here, who've been down here longer than me. Or they're in positions of authority within the government, Ministry of Tourism, where I can go, "Hey, what the heck is going on? Why is this happening?" And they can't tell me the whole story, but they'll give me enough to satisfy me. And then that's the information that I relay to you guys. It's not coming from moto concho drivers. It's not coming from taxi guys or the gringos who are sitting in the bar every week. No, it's from people who you probably won't see because they're raising families, running their business, living a normal life. So the North Coast is set to really get some serious investment. They're going to make Playa Bergantine the next Punta Cana. That's the goal. Vin Diesel and his investment group, it's been in the papers, this is nothing new, is set to build a film studio in Playa Bergantine as well. So there's a lot of international focus going on, and there's a lot of Dominican money being put into this area. And when you see Dominicans put money locally, it's a good thing because they know what's going on. It's their country. They got family members. That's impressive. When you see that, that should key you off to go, okay, what's set for this next area. So that's what's happening in Playa Bergantine. It's going to have a positive effect for the whole North Coast, obviously, but it's really going to help push sosua. How is it going to affect sosua? Basically, it's going to keep pushing sosua in the direction it's going. Sosua, we are becoming more of a retirement community, an extended stay community. Digital nomads are able to come down here and work, even as bad as the internet is down here. That's the direction sosua is going. Do I like it? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. How will it affect my business? I will have to adapt to the direction that it's going. But it's going to keep going the way it's going, whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not. So if you're going to come down here, enjoy sosua for what you like it for, because sosua is everything to everybody. There's something for everybody here. Don't get caught up in they're building huge resorts, they're going to push us all out, things are changing. What's going to change is, this is gospel, you can take this to the bank. The underfunded retiree and the cheap whoremonger are going to continue to get pushed out. That's where you're going to see the big change in sosua. And the restaurants and the bars and the establishments that cater to that crowd are either going to have to adapt or sell or go away. You have to be flexible with the markets that are here. So that's my 2 cents. Again, with the open sky agreement, Playa Bergantine coming aboard, positive things are happening. So is sosua dying? Parts of it are dying a continuous slow death, while the rest of it around it booms. Guys, take it for what it's worth. Please subscribe. Most of the people who watch my channel or have not subscribed, please do it. Please be safe. Peace out. And always remember, keep private personal and personal private.